Hey, good morning, Internet fans. It is Ryan Perry with Simple Biz Support. Today is Thursday, therefore it is Thursday. What is it? It's Internet Marketing Thursday. That's what it is. I'm sorry I distracted. You can't see outside the window, but it is pouring. I haven't seen any cats or dogs, but it is pouring cats and dogs out there right now. Much of Runner Park, where I'm at, is flooded. And Virginie, we were talking before. By the way, we have Virginie Dorn with Business Website Center down in Petaluma on the other side. As always, good morning.
Well, good morning, Ryan. It is pouring here as well, but so
Yes,
far so good. Just road
but
closures. All the schools are closed, of course.
yeah, and I know all the schools up here are closed. I think most of last night they said all the Bay Area schools were going to close down, Oakland, San Francisco. I'm not sure how far, and I know the storm just kind of hovered over us last night. It woke me up a couple of times, just the wind and the rain beating on the windows. So it's a good drenching. We need it. It's a great way to clean the streets after 2 years of drought. So happy to see the rain, and I'll be happy to see it go too. Although there's got to be good snow up in Sierras right now.
Yes, if you like the snow, Tahoe is just a few hours away for us. So we're
Yeah,
very lucky. So close to the sea, so close to the snow in the mountains.
yeah.
It's good here.
Yes. Today, though, we're not just going to talk about the drought or the crazy rain that we're getting here in Northern California. We're going to talk about end of year, what to do. So basically, a punch list for your website to make sure that rolling into 2015, you are ready to rock and roll. You've got task or homework to do to ensure that your website's in the best condition possible to capture as much business for you. And Virginie, where did you want to start on that punch list?
Well, I've prepared 10 items which I like to share with my clients often at the end of the year, like in December. It's always a good time to just review those 10 items for their website so they have not missed something. The first thing, it's about links on your website. It is a great time of the year to check if any of your links need to be updated, if maybe they are broken, maybe you have changed a page, maybe you were linking to a vendor and they have changed their URL, they're no longer in business. So in order to do that, you can do it manually. If it's a small website, just click on the links, see if they work. Or you can go to a link checker. For instance, I use a brokenlinkcheck.com, but there are hundreds of them on the web, and it's free of charge. It's easy to use. You put your URL there, and they'll pinpoint which links on which page are broken. Now, those programs are great.
One of the things I wanted to say real quickly, because I had to deal with this with a couple of websites that I was managing, was if you're using WordPress, there is a very popular plugin for checking links. However, it has been banned by a number of servers. I believe GoDaddy's banned it, and I forget who else, for being possible spyware and some other issues related to it. So if you are using a plugin for checking broken links, making sure you don't have any 404 errors, double check, do a little history on that plugin just to make sure it's not on that list, because it may be doing you more harm than good.
Yes.
So, and what you were recommending was an actual website where you can type in your URL of your website. It'll crawl it and check for any broken links.
That is correct. And perhaps GoDaddy and other hosting companies are preventing those because they offer those paid services as well.
Could very well be. You know, the nice thing about paid services, if you're willing to do a little bit of work, a lot of those paid services are free somewhere.
Yes. Now, those programs are great, but they won't tell you if you're linking to the right page. So perhaps you have missed something. You were thinking linking to your privacy policy, but you click on it and it goes to your terms and conditions instead. So you still a manual overview of your links would be a great idea. So that's number one item on your list. The second thing is to try your contact forms. And actually, it's something you should do on a monthly basis. At the business of the website we manage, we do this every first week of every month. We check every forms on every client's website. We send a little test email. Hey, this is us, making sure it's still working. Because things change on browsers, and sometimes it might break a form or something happened to your server. So very important, check your forms, fill them out, fill every single field, send it to yourself, see if you receive it. If you don't, talk to your webmaster. So that's number 2. Number 3, spell check. Not a bad idea, you know. Again, there are plenty of free programs out there that can help you spell check the content of your site. Typically, the programmers cannot spell check for you in their coding software because it doesn't work that way. So it has to be done on the front end. It's easy to do. If you don't know how to use the web very much, just copy and paste your content in a Word document and it will highlight those words for you.
And I am a notorious spell screw-up king, whatever you want to call it. I'm like Mr. Typo. So that's always a big one for me. Anytime I send something out publicly, I typically will have a couple of friends proofread it just to make sure, plus put it in Word to make sure. But you know, and it's embarrassing when stuff does go through the cracks and there is a typo in there, regardless of how small it is a reflection on your brand. So I know for me it's a big one just because of my own personal issues.
Yes, you know, there's spellcheck.net. It's very easy, it's free to use. They not only check the spelling, they also check the grammar, and some of them check the syntax also. Okay,
now the spellcheck.net, will it actually, can you just punch in your web address and will it actually go through your entire site?
Not this one. This one you copy and paste each page one at a time.
Okay.
Which I think is a little bit easier, just to be, I mean, if you just put your whole website, it's going to be pages and pages of overviews.
All right. Okay, good.
So we did 1, 2, 3. Now number 4 steps, it's to check your website on the different browsers. Now I recommend the 4 top browsers, which are Firefox, Mozilla, Chrome, Internet Explorer, and Safari. It's a good time to check again because those browsers release new versions every year. Sometimes you're not even aware when the version has slightly changed, and that might not be compatible with your code on your website. So again, checking it on the 4 different browsers is very important. Check every page, check your forms, check a standard page, your home page, your galleries, all of those things. Not a bad idea. If you see anything out of place, of course, you have to go back to your webmaster and have him make adjustments.
All right. And it's important, if you're going to do that, make sure you have the latest version of Chrome, Safari, IE, and Firefox.
That is correct. So make sure you update all of those. Number 5 is to also check your website on mobile devices, tablets, and smartphones. Now, I mentioned this because throughout the year you tend to add items to your website. So perhaps you added a fax number to the header of your site. You forgot to check how it looks on your smartphone. Perhaps that fax number that was added now is overlapping with you. So that's a very common mistake. You add items, especially if you have a CMS, but you forgot to check how it looks on a tablet or a smartphone. So not a bad idea, and that's the step 5 I tell clients. Number 6 is very quick. It's the copyright. A lot of people just do it every year, copyright for 2014. We're almost in 2015. It's time to change it. So be a very quick fix. But again, not a bad idea to keep it updated.
Question, is there, because I see these where they're old all the time, and I think for most small business owners, it's the copyright, who cares? Is there not a little piece of code we can put in there that says check and see what date it is, and if it's 2014, put 2014, and if it's 2015, put 2015?
Yes, yeah, your programmer can absolutely do that. It's a little script, it's very simple. Now, again, with new browsers, that's another kind of script, and maybe that won't work in a few years. So you just have to keep it. But if it's in place, just make sure it's working. And then on January 1st, it did switch to 2015. So I have 3 more items. Number 7 is the actual copywriting of your content, copywriting of your website. Make sure the content is up to date and you have not had drastic changes, and maybe you have a team of 12, but 6 of them have replaced, and Susie Sue is still mentioned as the office manager, but she's long gone. Not a bad time, December, to check those pages, update them. Something for pricing. So that actually goes with that step 7, is check when if you have pricing for 2014, then it's time for you to show what you're going to be charging in 2015. There's nothing worse if you say, oh, special deal for 2012. Okay, it's been 2 years. So it tells people not only you're not paying much attention to your website, you're not very professional, and what does it say about your pricing structure?
Right. The same thing that I see it's date related, not price related or special related, is speaking engagements or special events, or or you could even get into galleries, blog posts. The last time they ever put something up was 2 years ago. Okay, dead site, move on, next. I'm not even gonna waste my time, because if you don't care enough about your brand to update it, then I don't know what kind of business you run. So I'm gonna move on. So anyhow,
No,
I'm gonna step off of my little pylon there. And what's step number 8? Because we got 3 minutes left.
So 8 was about pricing. Again, update your pricing, which is slightly different for copywriting. Number 9 is to check your social media icons on your website. So if you're linking to platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn, make sure the URL is still accurate. It's not uncommon for people to change their Twitter account, for instance, to something more elaborate, but don't forget to change it on their website. If you have shareability function for those social media accounts, make sure they're still functioning. Again, it has to do with new versions of browsers. So that's
Right.
number 9.
Where I can really see that is where you started out with, like, say, LinkedIn or Twitter. You started out with the personal accounts, and then I don't know how long ago now. It's been a couple of years. They add the business, and so
Yes.
if you created a business account, you may want to link to your business account versus keeping that old link to your personal account.
Yes, so that's the type of change I'm referring to. People forget to update their website. They remember their email, maybe their email signature, but not the site itself.
Right.
The last item, truly, it's the good time of the year to see if it's time for a new website. I mean, how is the design? Is it up to date? Has it been 10 years? Is it responsive to mobile devices?
Yeah.
The whole thing. And just to remember, for tax reasons, if you get a website done or paid for in December, it's tax deductible for this year. You don't have to wait another 12 months to deduct it. So
Sure.
food for thought, we have a lot of larger companies signing up in December, but they're not quite ready to start. So we actually have 3 projects like this right now, where we've got payment for site, and we're meeting with them next year.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's funny, it happened last year as well. I see that as a trend. But again, good time to review your website. Your website is your storefront when you're sleeping. It's 24/7, doesn't get sick, but you do have to check it from time to time.
All right, perfect. Big question for you is this top 10 list that you have. Can you put that like on a PDF or something and host it on your site, and then we'll share the link on this?
Absolutely. I'll do that today, and I'll email you the URL.
Okay, perfect. When I get that, I'll go ahead and post that on the YouTube channel so people can upload it, and we'll throw it in, I think, Google+, all those good places. We'll make sure you have the link. So it's the end of the year. It's typically this is the time people start spending more time thinking about their business, and so this top 10 checklist that we just went through is a great idea. Fortunately for me, I'm in the process of rebranding my website, so I'm going to be going through all 10 steps simply because it's part of the branding process of building a new website. So, Virginie, I hope you stay dry. I hope the kids stay out of trouble today, and maybe you can put them to work since they're not in school.
Yes, they actually. One of them is helping me with a website project, actually.
All right, very good, very good. We got, you got to have somebody to pass the business on. That's that whole legacy thing.
Oh, they're absolutely interested. They're both geeks, so works out. It's in the blood.
All right, very good. As always, Virginie, it's a pleasure, and I hope you stay dry today.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.